time.
Yeah.
So if it ends up like he'll be here though, he'll definitely be in.
Yeah, I'm not worried about because like with our new flow, there's more time before we bring in guests. Like,
Right.
So,
all right, let me go get this.
All right, yeah. Take care of your laundry, mate. Oh, I want to bring up that email real quick before Jeremy comes back.
What's up, Joe?
Jeremy, I know I sent this into our group chat earlier, but I wanted to bring it up on the show here. I'm trying to locate my Gmail account real quick. We'll
Brandon,
put it up.
you and I look the same. Tonight.
I know. I don't want to put our boxes next to each other because we're both wearing.
Like
put my flannel on.
We're both Midwest, like today.
No,
and the flannel color matches your beards. Like yours is orange with the orange beard.
Yeah, no, I mean,
is like dark.
Yeah,
dark,
I mean that was intentional. I matched the shit to the glow. It's about to rain here, but I didn't feel like wearing a jacket. It's not very cold. It's just like rain's coming, so I was like
raining for the first time in 10 years, in California.
Well, for me, I went and got wings beforehand, and I had this shirt buttoned up, and then after eating wings, I had to unbutton. It was the pressure that was building near my midsection. I could have broke a window with this button if it let loose. I gotta do something. Gotta do something about that. Oh, Joe Sharmer. Joe, you were late to the party last week and were very confused. And I'm glad you're with us from the start this week because I felt bad you were jumping in midstream and things were quite insane.
Did Tim have his shirt off by then? Was the shirt off already?
Yeah, my shirt was off too. Remember I came in shirtless just as a support, All right, we're getting ready. We're getting.
Sorry,
close.
I'm responding to Robert real quick. He sent me a.
Yeah, of course. He knows when the show starts.
Yeah. He's like, "Come on, bitch, answer my call."
Yeah. Oh, happy birthday, Joe, to your mom who turned 80.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm. Got the Rona over there, Jeremy? You picking it up in California?
My neighbors, the whole house is quarantined. They all have it.
Jesus.
I'm probably gonna die. It's just part of life.
You'll be okay. You've got enough nicotine running through your blood.
Say goodbye.
Did you smoke this?
I don't know what you've got in your hand.
Magic Lancero. Did you smoke it yet?
I have not smoked it. Well, I smoked when I took some from Rob a couple years ago, when he had a batch at the office, but I have not gotten any from the production, and we're sold out. So it doesn't look like it will.
It's strong.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was going to be this strong.
I called Jeremy at 11:30 last night, our time, because Tony, when I went to Havana House on Sunday, I got the last of the David Perfecto from Foundation. The little guy, the little anniversary cigar that Nick made.
Yes.
And I was glad I got it because it was the last one in the box. And I smoked it last night, and I was like, "Oh, I just want a little smoke. I'm gonna sit outside in the garage. I got a little space heater." And that thing was a powerhouse. That thing rocked me. It was intense.
That's because David threw a stone and killed a giant. It's got balls.
See what Will said. You
guys are like, Will, listen. Will, God damn it.
I didn't sign in. Oh, wait. How come I can see all the things? I didn't sign. I just clicked the link today.
Because you're already signed in.
Yeah, you're logged in now. What? Listen, Will Marxist, that's all I have to say to you is that Tony sent out the coffee today. Coffee is out in the wild. So I'm not sure you're going to get any, though. Maybe you'll get some coal.
No. Will told him he didn't need to because we talked about it on Saturday. He doesn't drink coffee. He gifts coffee to people, but he doesn't actually consume it. So if you send it to Will, he was saying save it for someone else. If you do send it to him, he's going to gift it to someone else. So it's not a bad thing.
Right.
I'm still sending it to him.
Yeah.
He's got no choice.
Well, we're gonna start the show, but right before we do, I just wanted to shout out Marius Kelmelis from Lithuania, who wrote us an email at 4:45 a.m. our time. He said, "Hi guys." In the 207th episode, which Marius, I just want you to know, we don't have 207 episodes. That's a misnomer, my friend. The 2 stands for the season. So season 207, the 7th episode, not our 207th episode. But it's kind of cool. Kind of gives people the thinking that, man, they've been doing this for a long time and they suck at it. So what's going on? But in the 200, it says in episode 207, you mentioned Lithuania. I'm from Lithuania and just started listening to your podcast. I'm a TLE listener, so shout out to the TLE podcast.
Yeah.
He said, I heard about your show from them. So shout out to TLE. We got one of your listeners. That was why we did it. No, I'm just kidding. That's not true.
But can't have him back.
No, he's like, this is cool where the party's at. But all right, on my bad joke, let's start the show.
1 shot, 2 shots, 3 shots, 4 shots, 1 shot, 2 shots, 4 shots.
Hello. Welcome back to 4 Shots.
Yes. Welcome.
This is episode, I think, what did Brandon just say? 207?
2007.
2000. So we've been doing this since 1997.
Yeah, before we were the first podcast ever on the interweb.
Correct. We were broadcasting from public television.
I was 7 years old when we did. Actually, I was 8. I don't want to lie.
Is that the Golden Girls behind you? Have we had this discussion before?
Yeah, and it is.
No Dolly t-shirts today for you?
No.
Boring black one.
Just cozy, comfortable wear today. It's rainy outside, so I was just last minute rushing, trying to get stuff. It floods every time if we get a hard rain. I was putting a tarp over my rabbit's cage, over Lollipop's cage, or his hutch, not cage. I want to be PC. It's a hutch. It's a house hutch. Anyhow, so he wouldn't get wet because he's stupid and he'll just stay out in the rain and be like, why am I wet? Why am I wet? And he just stays there. So I was protecting him.
Well, where's he going to go? You have him in a cage. Where do you expect him to go?
No, well, so I have a hutch and then I have like a pen around it so he can run around. So when it rains, instead of going into his hutch and staying dry, he just lays out in the pen and then gets rained on. So I put a tarp going from our roof over so it like shields so he can still be outside, like his hutch, and maybe he'll get less wet because he's like a fur ball of like, and he just he's a dumb rabbit. I mean, what do you want? It's a rabbit. He's cute.
Is it still humping you?
No, because finally his personality, he's mellowed. My foot is no longer his girlfriend. My foot has not been violated in a while. Yeah, I'm feeling good.
Good. Well, anyway, welcome to 4 Shots. The show. It's sort of about everything. Everything kind of crafted, I guess. Cigars, coffee, beer, wine. Cool shit. We try to have cool guests. Today's kind of a different episode. Jeremy and I really don't know what's gonna go on. But anyways, if you guys can, please follow and subscribe to us.
Hit that button.
Hit that button. We really it. Keeps us going. We're getting a lot of different listeners from a lot of different countries, which is pretty cool. If you were here for the pre-show, we have picked up some people in Lithuania this week, which is kind of crazy. But anyway, yeah, please follow us on 4 Shots, Facebook, Live, YouTube, Twitch, and then tomorrow it'll be available on all streaming platforms, iTunes, Podbean, Spotify. Just check out 4 Shots. So that's what I got. You want to do a shot? I think we should do one. This is kind of boring already.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
I'm doing the Irish whiskey again because I haven't touched that bottle since last week. So it's like an old friend, just been waiting a week for me.
Cheers, everyone.
Do we have a bump?
Shot number 1.
Now he's late today.
Mm-hmm.
Usually
with
he's
that,
like
my
right on
friend-
top.
Yes, and with that, my friends, worst of the week.
Work on a newspaper is people working as a team. At the copy desk, the editor selects the news and photos for an issue and plans the estimated space on a miniature newspaper page, sometimes called a dummy.
All right.
Hey, twin.
I know, buddy. Look at us.
You know what we are?
What's
We
that?
are like, you dress that way because you live in the Midwest.
Yes.
And like, it's very appropriate. I dress this way because I gave up on life.
hey, we can give up on life in the Midwest. We invented giving up on life.
That's
That
why
is
plaid
the truth.
shirt, yeah.
That is a true statement.
Well, let's get right into the worst of the week, guys, where we gather 4 strange, disparate, hilarious,
I thought it was
out
2.
there. Well, we were gonna do 2, but you know what? I found other stories, and I'm like, I don't want to waste them, like, because they won't be the worst of the week next week. So I thought I would throw them in. We won't spend too much time on all of them. We're gonna go through them really quick, and by the end of the 4 stories, Tony and Jeremy are gonna try to decide which of the 4 is the worst of the week. If they pick 2 separate things, we will go to the chat and have you guys do a quick straw poll so we can decide. So let's hit the first one for tonight, which is kind of not terrible, but it's a little existentially terrifying. A Harvard astronomer is more confident than ever that an alien probe visited us in 2017. I read through the article, and it turns out there was a cigar-shaped, this is why I had to put it in, they described it as a cigar-shaped object that entered the outside of our solar system, and then it accelerated toward Earth before veering in the opposite direction and leaving the solar system in a very unnatural way. So this Harvard guy is like, that's not just a rock. That behaved like it was intelligent. What do you guys think?
You know what's amazing about that is, like, it's coming to Earth, and then as it got closer, he's like, nah, this place is a shit show. I'm going back up. Like,
Well,
no vision.
I think. Well, you know that they're supposed to like declassify everything, right? In Congress this year, all their knowledge on UFO they're supposed to declassify. It was, I don't know if it was voted on or if it like is past the statute of limitations. Because Robert just is like me.
Oh my God. Well, very, very rich Amish kids. Yeah. And
That's
I wear burlap for underwear too, for extra comfort.
Well, let's get to our second story. That first one is kind of terrifying because I think that if we were to actually be visited by a advanced race, I don't think it would work out too well for us. History has shown that when advanced species or advanced civilizations run into lesser advanced ones, it doesn't work out too well for the ones that are lesser advanced. But speaking of not very advanced, we're going to go to Gwyneth Paltrow here. Her vagina candle reportedly explodes in UK woman's home. If you guys are
wait, this is amazing. This isn't horrible.
Yeah, I mean,
I bought this candle to look just like Gwyneth Paltrow's vagina.
well,
And
no,
I
it's supposed
lit
to
it.
smell like it.
And
It's
then
supposed to
it-
smell like it.
it's supposed to smell like Gwyneth Paltrow's vagina.
And it
She sells it.
exploded.
Yeah, it sells through her Goop website, her lifestyle magazine thing. I can't believe people. I think the worst thing about this story is that people buy a candle that smells like Gwyneth Paltrow's vagina.
I got 2 of them. One for the bathroom, one for the living room.
Wait, can we get candles that smell like your balls? Can we get that?
I wonder if they have custom scented candles. My question is, how much is a Gwyneth Paltrow vagina candle?
Can you find out, Brandon?
Okay, I'll go to Goop when we get done with this segment, and I'll see if I can track down the price because it's not in the article.
We should buy one of her vagina candles and raffle it off.
Yes,
I think we should get in touch with her and see if her vagina can sponsor 4 shots.
Yeah, we don't want you, Gwyneth. We just want your vagina candle. Can you please help us out?
I think we're in. I think we're definitely in for that.
Well, if we're staying in the world of celebrity news, because celebrities they entertain us even when they're not in movies and things. Ben Affleck and actress Ana de Armas split over the last few days. They were dating because she wanted to have kids.
I don't think that's Ben Affleck.
No, that's a weird ad that's local here. But here we go. We got Ben Affleck and there's so many ads on this website popping up.
I don't even know who that girl is that he's with.
So she was in recently the movie Knives Out. She plays the nurse in Knives Out. She was awesome. And she played the holographic girlfriend in Blade Runner 2049 a few years back.
I saw that.
Yeah, and she was
that looks kind of like, I mean, he's looking a little rough. I understand
he's 47.
Well, he's like so sad, and I think it's because Matt Damon's so much more popular than he is. Like, everything he does is just not that good.
No, I think he's almost carrying the regret on his face from playing Batman. That's all it is. Like, he can't get over it. Like, I did that thing. I shouldn't have done that thing.
I should have done it.
My favorite meme is like him sad outside smoking a cigarette. It's like one of my favorite pictures I've ever seen.
The one where he's like taking the big sigh.
Yeah.
Okay, so this isn't the actual story though. Like, okay, this is like the front story, but the worst of the week is that his brother Casey Affleck,
who's hilarious,
was recorded taking outside his brother's home a giant cardboard cutout of Ana de Armas and throwing it in a trash can.
Why didn't they eBay that? And why do you have a life-size poster
of your own girlfriend?
Of your own girlfriend in your house.
So sad. He is so sad, guys.
Have you seen the Casey Affleck Dunkin' Donuts commercial? It's amazing.
Yeah, but to me, this is a qualifier for worst of the week because you're having a worst week right here. Your girlfriend breaks up with you. You are so sad, Ben Affleck, sad flick, that you have to have your brother come over and throw away your life-size card.
No, what happened is like Casey came over to see his bro who's in pain, and Ben was found in the bed caressing and crying that, and his brother's like, "Fuck you, dude! We're gonna get you out of this funk." And he took it from his hands and he was like, "Don't take it from me! It's all I have left."
That's why he was sad, Brett. Sad Ben.
Oh my god! Did you guys see Richie said that he would pay $100 for a Jeremy Balls candle? That's pretty
done
cool.
and done.
There we go. All right, let's get to our last one here. The last contender for worst of the week is kind of goes back to the existential fear of the alien thing. One of my biggest phobias is deep water. Kind of scares the shit out of me. They recorded the longest animal ever discovered in a deep sea canyon off Australia coast. This animal is a single organism. It's an animal, not a plant. It is 150 feet long, and it is the longest recorded single living like animal in scientific history.
Next to my penis.
Yeah.
You know what's so funny, Brandon?
I
thought as soon as you were saying like the longest thing, I was like, I bet you Tony's gonna make a joke about his penis. And then lo and behold, he delivered like a kid
perfectly placed, placed penis joke. That's what. That's all I'm good for.
Yeah, no, it's great. Perfect.
Well, I think I only put this in for worst of the week because it like terrified me and just thinking like, what if I was swimming in the ocean? I looked down and there was this massive. It would just freak me right the fuck out. It's kind of up there with the spiders, eating the spiders last week. That just like gave me the heebie-jeebies. So let's go through the 4 here. Have you guys pick? We have the alien cigar-shaped probe visits the solar system. The goop vagina candle explosion. Sad Fleck Casey brother throws away life-size cardboard cutouts. That's so great. And then the longest animal ever recorded. What do you say, Jeremy?
I'm going with, because I have now visualized this whole story, I'm going with Casey Affleck dumping the picture, because I cannot imagine. I'm just imagining Ben in bed crying profusely, like thinking about how he has his like addictions and he can't kick them. He already lost his first wife, and his kids don't like him.
Both Jennifers.
They think he's a douche, and his best friend's more successful than him, and this girl left, and all he has. Have you ever seen the movie The Jerk, with Steve Martin?
Yes.
I just picture him going, all I have is this cardboard cutout. Like he's got his thermos. And I just picture that. So Casey for the win, because Casey is saving his brother. He's like, bro, this ain't healthy.
Get rid of it. It's gotta go.
This ain't healthy. You cannot sleep with a cardboard cutout of your girlfriend.
Of a 22-year-old.
What they didn't show is the close-ups, how there's probably smears all over that cardboard.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God.
Oh, it's okay for you to say you have a 150-foot dick, but I can't say.
My question is if you get the vagina candle and you put it in the room and he holds the cardboard cutout, it's kind of, synthesizing actually being with a human being. You get the smell, you got the size and shape is right.
I wonder how many people have bought that candle thinking it's a sex toy. And like how many men have been like, ooh, Gwyneth Paltrow's hot. It's like a fleshlight, but it's a candle.
I would love if she made it smell like garbage, like just to prank, like just to totally prank everybody, like, who buys it. That would be amazing. Tony, what's your pick for worst of the week?
I agree with Jeremy 100%. I mean, I was going to go with vagina candle. Like aliens are fine, like whatever, let them go. Fermi paradox, that's not going to happen. The 150-foot long penis thing, nothing. I mean, who cares? I'm never going to encounter it in my life. I know you're scared of it, but we won't do it. But I mean, this is just amazing. I think that this is really that's the worst week ever.
It's the worst of the week.
If I was a garbage man and I pulled up and I saw like a cutout of any person, I would have been like, hold on, I'm taking that. Then I would have taken it and put it on eBay and put sold it as his former lover cardboard cutout that he's slept with.
What is Casey Affleck even wearing in this?
A disguise. He's trying, and he's got a mask up over his face. But I mean, like, if he looks like he's dressed to be the gardener. I mean, it's probably Ben Affleck was like, bro, you can't go outside. There's paparazzi everywhere outside my house. They're gonna see you. They're gonna know it's you throwing it away.
And they did.
Let's
do a shot.
Let's do a shot, and then you guys bring in our guests, and then we'll go to Fresh It with them after that, okay? Let's do it.
Shot number 2.
Cheers. Jeremy, why don't you introduce our guys?
So we're having a little bit of a different, unique. We didn't put the names on tonight because we're clever. I'm not telling you anything beyond that. No, we have our friends on. They're both from the industry. They're good friends of ours. They have been on the road for many years doing what they do in selling cigars, representing various companies they've been with. And we wanted to have them on because we're going to have a roundtable kind of conversation tonight that should be very entertaining for you all. So I would like to welcome Jarrod Saunders and AJ Costa.
Hello, boys. Welcome to the show.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Do you guys have shots available, or are you just hanging?
I am not having shots because I have to drive through ice tonight in Minnesota, and I know how you guys are, and I'm still recovering from New Year's Eve, I think. So I am holding off on shots for a couple years after that, or at least until next New Year's.
AJ,
yeah, and
I have corporate training in the morning, so I
Can't
need to be.
Can't be stanking.
I can't. No, if this was a Thursday or Friday night, this could be a whole different deal. But yeah.
Well,
Hey,
cheers
Tony.
to you guys. Yeah.
Tony, let's do back-to-back shots in honor of them.
All right.
Oof.
We're doing it for our boys.
Shot number 3.
Expedited quickly.
Okay,
All right.
let's do
We're
it.
fucked.
I'm doing it for AJ, and you're doing it for Jarrod.
That's fair.
Oh God.
Let's just get there because we're going to real quick here.
We're gonna get it.
I'm gonna throw up.
Welcome home, boys. We don't normally do this, but we're doing that.
Cheers.
Cheers. Doesn't taste good right now.
That is one big pile of shit.
I don't feel so good.
The mother rhino is giving birth.
Its wrapper is a piece of the original U.S. Constitution.
Coming out of me like lava.
At the rate you're carrying on, that's a small fortune going up in smoke. Well, I like smoke.
Well, you're really doing it, aren't you? You're just shitting in the street.
Oh
For
God.
the record, that is my
funny.
favorite transition video that you
Yeah.
guys do. Is the
Yeah.
fresh shit one.
That's great.
I'm going to say give us 15 minutes and we're already sloppy.
Oh, I'm surprised. This is a nice welcome back for AJ, though.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you
Yeah,
miss
this is
it?
great.
Are you missing it? Are you missing it?
You know, it's a mixed bag, but there's a sort of in there for sure. Yeah.
Elements.
So, if you all aren't familiar, fresh shit is when we go over stuff that we had that happened to us this week that was cool, new products, something you smoked, something you drank, something you found out about,
Something interesting.
something interesting. Jeremy, you should start because you're in the top left. What do you
Okay.
got?
So I have a little bit of a funny story. Over a year ago, because we just passed Christmas, so Christmas of 2019, I was on a website, and you get pop-up ads for like for different items, right? They come up like Instagram and stuff like that has ads. And I was a sucker, and I bought this like pair of shoes. I was like, those are kind of cool looking, and so I bought them. Right, impulse buy, got them. Well, month 1 went by, month 2 went by, nothing. Month 3, I started emailing. Never heard a response. So then I called the credit card company, had it refunded. Like they open it up, and then like if they don't reply within X amount. So anyhow, I got the money back, and life goes on. Then on Friday, I get in the mail the shoes this Friday.
What?
A year later?
Like over a year later, and I've been refunded for them, and I'm like, why did I get a box? And I was like, did someone buy me a Christmas present? And I open them, and I'm like, what are? Oh, you bought over a year ago. And the funny thing is I totally would have returned them when I got them because I don't like them. But the fact that they like,
I'm gonna keep them now.
Later is hilarious to me because like they had to have known they didn't get the money. So it was like, was it crafted by elves in Norway? And that's why it took a year? Or maybe that like dick-shaped alien that was coming down was actually the delivery for my shoes? I don't know. But I had shoes show up, and now I have a pair of shoes that I don't want. But it's pretty funny that it came a year later.
And they were free.
And they were free, but like, why would you send them to me? You knew it was canceled long ago. A year ago, you knew it was canceled.
Yeah.
Well, if it was handled by USPS, then it probably took that long to get to you.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
They probably thought that once you got the shoes, you were going to notice how amazing they were. You were then going to pay them again for the shoes.
Hey guys, I just want you to know, got it, love it, stoked. Let me give you some money. How's that sound?
Send
Love
me
it.
another pair.
Why don't you go ahead and recharge my credit card? We'll
Right,
do this
yeah.
again.
You know what? Do it
Oh.
twice because you're so badass. You sent him a year later. That's good customer service. You didn't forget about me.
That's awesome.
It's just wild.
Oh man. That
So
makes more
Jarrod,
sense.
You and I discovered, this is your fresh shit, but you and I discovered something over the past weekend or 2 weekends ago that you would like for your fresh shit. What do you got for us?
So I have two fresh shits because one came up in the worst of the week, and that is that Ana DRMS is now single, so that is my now fresh shit because
you
I'm
go,
in love with
Jarrod.
her.
You go.
Yeah, so now I have a chance. But my real friend,
you had a chance before, bro. It's Ben Affleck.
It's Ben Affleck, dude.
Affleck.
Yeah, great point.
You're a better
Great
actor.
point.
Probably. But my fresh shit is I discovered that Vin Diesel is an amazing artist, and I'm addicted to his song, Feel Like I Do. So if you have not heard it,
You're
here you
about to.
go. Oh,
What?
I don't know, but it feels like I do. And I was frozen when you walked in the room.
Where's DJ Ryan? We need this.
My stomach turned cold. I don't know you, but it feels like I do.
He recorded a legitimate song.
He has an album.
It's a legit song, and it sounds exactly how any song that if you were to tell me Vin Diesel made a song, this is exactly how I would feel like it would sound.
Yeah.
It sounds like I got really wasted on a beach in like Cancun, and this is the music playing behind it.
Yeah, it sounds like the palm tree is singing it to me.
Look how many views are on that thing. Look how many views.
That's nuts.
We can't get
This song-
10. He releases this, he gets 1 million.
This song screams, I got roofied at spring break. I'm a big fan of
AJ,
it.
This begs another question that I'll ask after AJ and you share your thing. Just remind me to ask what I'm thinking.
AJ, besides the new job, what do you got? Anything good for this week going on?
Yes, I discovered a Westward whiskey I already knew about it, but they're based up here in Portland. It's an American single malt, and they just came out with a Pinot Noir cask.
Oh,
And because the Willamette Valley up here is really well known for Pinot Noir, and I just had some of that, and it was phenomenal. Yes, so that Burgundy label bottle over there, they just changed the bottle as well. I'm not getting paid for this, by the way. This is not why I came on the show, but it's actually really interesting. It's pretty straightforward from like whiskey, Pinot Noir. There you go, but something I haven't really had before, so that was pretty good. And I actually won that. Well, I won a gift card and a lot of other stuff on Instagram. They had like a giant sweepstakes for Instagram during the holidays, I guess. And I just got everything this past weekend, so I got like $300 worth of whiskey and all kind of crazy Portland made stuff. It was very random. So yeah.
Well, hey guys, I just want you to know.
Good job, Brandon, pulling that up.
Yeah, that was $85. Okay, that's $85. Now, that means that bottle of amazing sounding whiskey is only $10 more than the Smells Like My Vagina candle.
Oh, there it is. It's
I was wondering where we were going with
$75.
that. Oh my gosh.
It is, in fact, 75 motherfucking.
But you got free shipping.
You got free shipping,
bro.
Or you can finance it for 4 interest-free payments of $18.75.
Oh man, that's terrible.
Car, house, vagina candle.
I mean,
Can you imagine what the guy who looks like who had to finance the Smells Like Vagina candle?
Yeah.
Like what that guy looks like.
Someone did it for sure. They were like, I can't do it right now, but in a month.
But in a month, put that on layaway. We're good.
Layaway.
4 months.
Hey, AJ,
Same
the
as
Westland
cash.
guys, the Westland Distillery guys, I've done an event with those guys, and they are heavy cigar smokers. And we traded, I did an event where we traded bottles for cigars. Like, they're good dudes, man. They're very cool dudes.
Where was I at during this event? Why was I?
I was gonna say I'll have to be there for the next one.
Yeah. They're legit dudes. Very cool guys.
Yeah, they've kind of limited access to those guys. They're not doing any of the walkthroughs and tours and all that. So I just picked up my stuff and went home. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That'd be cool. Let me know next time you come out.
Yeah, one of the coolest things about them, I'm going to throw them a little props, is that so with their peated moss that goes in your Scotch whiskey, they're they were the first to make a Scotch style where they are peating their own moss from from Oregon and using barley water. So they're creating a Scotch, but it's truly an American style of Scotch. So in the spirit of Scotland, but they're using the water that runs through it, and they're and I think that's super cool. Instead of having it, moss imported in Scotland, which is what they do in Canada and in these other, they're actually growing their own, and so it's a homegrown thing. If you haven't tried their stuff, it's Scotch, but it's Scotch with a different twist because it's you taste the difference. But you're wait, this is Scotch. It's legit,
right?
But it doesn't taste like a Macallan, or it doesn't taste like a anything from coming out of the Islay. It's a truly unique. Actually, we should talk to them. I'm gonna hit you guys up to endorse us.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
So we're sponsored by Paltrow's Vagina and Portland
Westward Whiskey.
Yeah,
and cardboard cutouts from Casey Affleck.
You better believe Jared's looking up those cardboard cutouts right now for his
apartment.
No,
he's did the trash already come? He's trying to find the address.
I'm trying to figure out when trash pickup is in LA. That's when I need to get out there.
You can get there very fast with my fresh shit, which is you like that segue?
That was well done.
Cirrus Aircraft has just released the world's first affordable private jet. It is 1.96 million. It goes 30,000 feet. Well, dude, traditional private planes are used are 10 million. But
how many do you think Hernando will buy?
How many?
Yeah. It's my weekend cruiser but in red, but I want the black one for my everyday, that type of thing. How many do you think he'll buy?
Well, I think he'll buy.
He's going to change out the pinstripe color though, for sure.
Right. He only does custom colors.
That red's not going to work. Maybe a teal and a canary on the back wing or something.
Well, they're also.
Can you just actually frosting on it for me?
This is Brandon. Look this up. This is a way more Hernando thing, actually. Porsche released their private jet with the Pan America together, and they're both in a gunmetal gray. That's way more of a Hernando thing than the affordable private jet. I'm an affordable private jet kind of guy.
I mean, come on, affordable jet. Oh, you peasants. That's for the peasants, not for the high class.
Yeah, it's like flying Spirit versus flying American Airlines.
Tony's going to clear up some of that 8 acres he's got there for a little private airstrip so we can land his new affordable private jet.
Oof.
Yeah, look at that.
That is pretty. Oh, I like it.
It'd be way cooler if it was a transformer and could be both.
Yes. Agreed. Yeah. Can I get the Calibri V cutter on one side and the straight cutter on the other side? Can I get the Porsche? Can I get the Porsche car on one side and then it flips to the jet? That'd be great.
It's like when they made those cars that convert and drive into the water, and I always thought that was the coolest thing. I wanted one of them, not because I plan on driving in water, but because you never know.
You never know when you're going to need it, man.
Now Porsche can be
Elon Musk owns the submarine car from James Bond, the Lotus, that would do the submarine thing.
Yeah.
That one's awesome. Yeah. So Brandon, let's get into what you have in store for us for today.
Well, gentlemen, we are going to have the first ever 4 Shots roundtable discussion. Now, before I can do that, we've been doing a lot of product on tonight's episode. We've been you'd think that we were getting all these kickbacks. And of course, we're not getting any of those kickbacks, but this is just for Jarrod. I just want him to know that for $5 less than This Is My Vagina candle, he can get the Ana de Armas in a red dress cutout.
Life size,
$69.97, Jarrod. You can get that. I mean, listen, you could get the whiskey, you could get the vagina candle, or you could come down and get Anna.
I'm gonna get all 3 and just have myself one hell of a Friday.
You could also come.
Like,
Get the total. That's the 4 shots Friday package. We should offer the 4 shots bundle. We're gonna raffle that off. We're gonna get the Anadarmus cut out. We're gonna get the candle and that bottle of whiskey, and we're gonna raffle that off for charity or something.
Free cigars.
Oh,
yeah,
that's the next McAllis cigar event right there. I'll get Al to sign up on it. We'll be good.
Amazing.
Oh man,
what have we created tonight? I don't know what has happened.
Incredible.
Sounds like a pretty great lifestyle, if you ask me.
Yeah,
the weirdest
good Friday night
home package. Yeah,
you can set the cutout next to you in your affordable private jet on the way.
If you guys want, you can also include, if you purchase these now, they'll be you can cancel your order, and then a year later you get them for free. So if any of you want that hookup, I will let you know what I did.
What if we put all this together? Like we put all these things into one of our Patreon tiers that we're developing. That would be.
And you guys wonder why you have no sponsorship. I just want to throw that out here.
I know we got this thing. Well, I want to start. We're going to have a roundtable discussion. We're going to get into some topics that you guys are all very familiar with. But I thought we should do a little kind of ice-breaking type of question first, even though we've done a lot of goofing off. As you guys may know, tomorrow we will have a new president. And so I found out today from the New York Times that there's only a 5-hour prep time between when the old is out and Biden and his family move in. There's only 5 hours that they have to get the decorators, the furniture, the setup. It all has to be done in this very, very tight window. And it's like this crazy thing. All of the specific things that the Biden family has requested and all this stuff. So my question for the roundtable, the first question tonight, and we will throw it to Mr. Acosta first. It's not Acosta, it's just Costa, right? I keep getting.
It's fine.
I keep thinking of Jim Acosta, the reporter.
Yeah. Yes,
thinking that,
and then Bob Costas.
Yeah.
So I'm in the middle. I'm in between him and Bob.
AJ
Yep.
Costa. So we're gonna throw it to you, AJ. I'm just gonna say that if you were moving into the White House tomorrow, what must-have thing would you have on that truck that would have to move in there with you? Because now you're going to be in the White House, can't go out, you can't do your thing. So what weird or very specific thing would you have to have moved into the White House with you?
A personal steam room. Yeah, it's got to go. And I don't want the infrared sauna. Since we have staff that can clean it then I need the steam room put in there. Yeah, 100%.
There's not a better use of taxpayer dollars.
Not at all. That's a great answer. Bellotto, let's ask you the same thing. What would you have to have moved in there with you?
Wow. Absolutely have to have.
Yeah, you have to have it, and it could be anything. You're the president. What's gotta come into the White House with you?
My vagina candle.
Just right on the oval desk, like right on the the Resolute desk. Just
like when I'm handing out pens just for my vagina candle.
Right here. There it is. Yeah, there's my vagina candle. Right there it is.
It's good to meet you. Hey guys, here's the pen, and do you like the aroma?
Who's gonna bring this one in for me? Thank you.
Don't drop it.
I think as a power move, I think that in Kamala Harris's office, she should have "This is my vagina" candle as just a total power move. So when anybody comes in,
that's a lot. That's a lot.
They could do a special. Goop could do a special edition for the first president's vagina. That would be pretty amazing.
Oof.
Jeremy, what would you have to have moved into the White House for you? What weird thing?
I don't know if it's weird. I would just actually have real security.
Okay. Ooh, got him. I feel like it was a throwback.
Is that the fourth shot tonight, or
let's do a shot? Yeah, I think that we're on that. We're gonna do shot number 4.
Oof. Oh, hey.
Yeah, here we go.
Shot number 4.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I said that
because so disinterested in where he's at. No matter where he's at, he's always not interested in being there.
Right? Who is?
Robbie. You saw the shot 4 bumper.
Yeah.
He looks like he is not happy where he is ever.
So I said that as a jab, obviously, but
it's warranted.
But honestly, I would have a moon room, like a bounce house room dedicated, like from Revenge of the Nerds, like where it's like dimly lit, and we can bounce around, and I can bring that cardboard cutout, and like it'll just be a fun room. It'll be my moon room.
Tim Ferriss coming in hot. This was our guest from last week from Stank magazine. He posts in the chat, has anyone made a bomb pussy joke yet regarding the exploding vagina candle?
Anybody have that Chingy song? That's a bomb, man.
I really like this one. Keurig coffee maker. Like out of all the things, I need a Keurig coffee maker in here, bro. Because I'm sure it doesn't. Because it doesn't exist. I'm sure, like that. There's no Keurig in the entire.
In the White House
I didn't mean to make fun of you.
No,
I kind of did.
That was Jarrod. What specific thing? What weirdly? And you can't say Anna de Armas. What would you have moved into the White House?
But he'd be the president. He could just request her.
Yeah, I mean, I would want the cutout, but I would never fully put it away. I would just tuck it behind like the curtains. So anytime there's like an Oval Office picture, you just see like the feet from the cutout on it, and like slightly like her arm just kind of like sticking out the side, like someone's hiding behind it. Like that would be totally it.
I call him up. I mean, like you'd have her dancing like on the train.
Yeah. I mean,
it's like Home Alone when
he was dancing in the Oval Office, and Jarrod's just like this little train set.
I forget to close the blinds one night, and there's some guy with like a telescopic lens would catch me like dancing in the Oval Office with her and be like, "What the fuck?" Like that would be it. Man.
That would not be the weirdest and most scandalous thing that a president had been caught doing in the Oval Office. So I think that's pretty mild considering our history.
Touche.
Yeah. So let's get into some more serious questions. A lot of people say you guys have all been in and around the sales aspect of the cigar industry. That's something that you kind of, all of you touch in one way or another. So a lot of people say that sales as just a job in general, whether cigar industry or not, is a shit job. And I can say that I did car sales many years ago, and it was shit, and I hated it. But I want to hear from each of you guys. What would you say, is sales a tough industry to be in no matter what you're selling? Or is it not that hard and it gets a bad rap?
I mean, I think it's up to the person, right? Like there are some people that absolutely love sales, and there's some people that you give them ice to an Eskimo, you give them widgets, cigars, cars, insurance, whatever it is, they can do it and they love it and they have that personality for it. I hate sales. Like I'm not a good salesperson, and Tony, as being one of my accounts, can fully attest that I'm a terrible salesperson. I am much better at building relationships, and thank God I'm in an industry where relationships kind of tend to outweigh the sales aspect of it. So that it always helps. And listen, if you sell something that you have a passion for, then the sales portion of it comes easier because you're able to talk about it a little bit, and it kind of helps smooth that rough edge of being a salesperson away. But some people love it. I couldn't sell anything if it wasn't cigars.
Oh, all right. Who else got an answer to that? That's a good answer. Tony, what do you think?
I think that, I've heard many horror stories, and I know that AJ had a gigantic fucking territory, and Jarrod has a gigantic fucking territory now. And I've heard horror stories of people, because I not only the retail, I'm also the manufacturer, right? And I've also I was a wine salesman for a while. So I've had like every sort of experience in this world. And plus I travel with my guys now. And I think some of the craziest stories I've heard have been guys that have been like, oh, it's the cigar business. How hard could it be? And like, all you do is like smoke cigars and like with your friends and bullshit or whatever. And then they go out on the road and they're out for like a week and they end up like crying in the hotel room and quitting. No, I've heard these stories. Like one kid like shut down. He's like, fuck this. I'm not doing this anymore. Crying in his hotel room, flight back to like Omaha or wherever he was from. And I think like in this, in our industry, it's a unique one where like a beer salesman will have like 100 accounts within 20 miles where like we have 20 accounts within 1,000 miles. So it's a completely different business to be in because, Jarrod and AJ, you guys know, I mean, you're in a hotel. I mean, what is your Marriott? 180, 200 nights a year, probably sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long have you been gold for life members at Marriott? That's one thing our industry offers to us.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And it's such a dick measuring contest too. When you get around reps and they're like, "Oh, you're titanium elite with Marriott. How many more years till lifetime?" I only got 2 more years. It's no big deal.
Yeah.
How many? Yeah. You pull up the app and it's got the little wheel that goes around showing you how many nights, and it's like May, and they're like, "I already hit it."
Yeah. It's like this thing like us all pulling our pants down and being like, "Not bad, but check this out."
The funny thing is if you remember that movie with George Clooney with
Up in the Air, yeah,
where they're sitting at the bar and they're pulling out like their loyalty cards and stuff like that. I have been around national sales directors.
Ragtags.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I've been at the Circle Bar at the Venetian during the trade shows and seen national sales managers and reps all sitting there bragging about who's got the higher Delta or United status or who's got the most miles and points and stuff like that. It's 100% what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I'll give when I first started, when I moved from retail to sales rep, I was told by my manager or owner of the company at that time, what you do is what a monkey does. He's like, a monkey could do your job. And I was like, okay. Like, and he was like, anyone can do what you do. But after spending the past 9 years, 10 years now in different capacities on the road, whether like be a sales manager or repping or helping rep and build Caldwell. No, that dude was so fucking wrong because it is the most difficult, like go into a store, have a product that you love, and then hear, "No, I don't need that. Don't want it. Don't like it." Whatever it is, over and over and over again. For the first year, it wears you the fuck down. And all of a sudden you're like sitting in some city that you have no idea, and all you want to do is take a shit in your own bathroom to have a sense of normalcy. And people have no idea. They think the road life is so glamorous. And believe me, it has its moments, and I'm thankful that I'm in this industry. But what they don't see is, how did I get from this side of the U.S. to that side of the U.S., and how many stores and how many nights I was up till 3 a.m. whining and dining someone or spending time in a shop just to sell fucking rolled leaves.
Well, I think you mentioned a really important thing that I think is the biggest misconception about people who don't travel for work, right? Like when I meet my friends that don't travel and they're like, "Oh, I'm so jealous you travel for work." Like there's this misconception that all I do is fly first class and stay in Ritz-Carltons all day long. But realistically, I fly twice a year. I fly for my sales meeting. I fly to the trade show. The rest of it, I drive. I drive 50,000 miles a year. I got a 2015 Ford with 275,000 miles on it. I'm staying in places like Flint, Michigan, Akron, Ohio, Independence, Ohio.
Whoa.
Hey. But it's not, unless you guys build a Ritz there, then
Michigan City,
I built you a Ritz. I built you a Ritz.
You do.
You were sleeping on the floor.
Jared's getting put in the corner. Jared's in the corner. AJ, we haven't heard from you. I want to know from you what's your take on the sales as a I don't want to say it's not a lifestyle, but the career choice that going down that path.
No, I think for me, so I came out of law enforcement in college, and so for me I fell into sales because I could talk to people, and then you kind of start to chip away at the different ideas around sales mentality, and the whole idea I got in the cigar industry. If I was going to make the same $40,000 as everybody else selling, whatever the hell everybody else was selling, I was at least going to like what I was selling. And then I got into the sales aspect and I really enjoyed that. Like Jarrod, I build relationships really well. It's a cornerstone of my sales tactics, but I also like finding the gold and digging that shit out of people's pockets and out of their walls and I like pulling a bag out into the street and tossing it in the trunk and going, okay, great, I got my money for the week. So I'm a little bit of a hybrid. I do enjoy it. That's part of why I got out of cigar sales. Obviously, had to get out from a location standpoint, but I'm in software sales right now, right, doing training and stuff this week. And we had to do this. To case in point, we had to do this pitch tonight for training, and everyone's all worried about it. Like, I'm not worried about it. Hit record. Let me see the deck. Run right through it, because I like that aspect of I'm gonna fuck this up anyway, right? They want to see how I'm gonna fuck this up. So me overthinking it and trying to make it perfect today, 2 weeks in, stupid. So let's go ahead and get this over with. Let's fuck this up. Let's try to do it right? Give your best energy towards it, right? But if I'm gonna sit in front of somebody and ask them for $75,000 or ask them for $400, it's irrelevant. I'm still asking them for a good portion of their money. So for me, it's a little bit of a hybrid, but people don't think about that being on the road. I told people, 90% of the photos you see on social media, I'm alone.
Yeah.
And so and people don't think about that aspect of, even if you do get to fly, or, if you drive a lot. Like my first job on the road, I used to drive to St. Louis from Houston, and so you drive 12 hours to then, get to a shop like Grand Cru and see Jimmy. And then now you got to be the most exciting person Jimmy's seen all day.
Yeah.
And Jimmy doesn't know who the fuck you are, right? Or Jimmy's not there. And now you're just talking to the guys in the lounge. You're trying to catch Jimmy over the next 2 days because you're only in St. Louis for 2 days. It's the internal motor you have to have to be successful on the road is a lot different than I think other jobs, for sure.
And if I was to add to it, man, I think that like the one thing that gets overlooked with sales, especially people are like, that you have this concept, if you sell what you love, you never work a day in your life. Fuck you. You work every day. In fact, you work harder because you care so much about it. Yep. And so like, I love the industry, but this whole concept of it's just for love of the leaf. No, I want to feed my family. I love cigars. I have worked in other sales jobs and in other industries, and it was much harder for me because yes, I have a natural knack, to like relate to people or whatnot, or make them feel sorry for me because I look like shit, whatever it might be.
I didn't know that was the strategy. Now we understand. Now we've got it.
This is years in planning.
Yeah, man. You think I just woke up like this?
Yes.
Okay, I did.
But he's like, yes.
Okay. But no,
100%.
the thing is like when you love it, there are enjoyable. Like I am blessed to be in this industry. I get to smoke cigars, and people say like, oh, I get to smoke cigars for a living. But no, that is one aspect of it. And I have slept in my car. I am a national sales manager. I've slept on the road because I didn't know where I was going to end, and I couldn't get a hotel, and I'm sleeping in my car for 4 hours just to get enough sleep so I can continue the next 5-hour drive. And this isn't to say woe is me. It's to say anybody in sales, the perception is, oh, you're going and traveling the world, you're seeing all these things. And it is not as simple as that, because the majority of the things we see are walls with other dudes smoking cigars.
It's windshield time. Like we could be in the most beautiful place, like driving from Los Angeles to Portland,
right?
Like that's one of the most beautiful drives in the country, right? But it's like we're on the phone, we're emailing, we're calling, and then we end up stopping at another place that's exactly the same place as we just left. And it's over and over and over again. And I remember specifically, like I went on a big tour with Glenn in the South, and it was like 10 days, 10 cities. And 2 of the days I woke up in the hotel room and I didn't know where I was or where I was facing. Because like the night before, like I fell asleep next to the window, and then you wake up and you expect to be looking at the window, right? But then the next day I was in the bed next to the wall, and I woke up staring at the wall, and I had no fucking idea where I was. And it was like the scariest thing that's ever happened to me. And it only happened to me a couple of times in like really intense traveling, but like that kind of stuff, it's like you're staring through a windshield. The roads, like AJ, and Jarrod, too, the roads that we're used to are not fun roads. That LA to Portland is like the funnest, right? Or LA to Seattle.
Yeah.
But like driving from Wichita to St. Louis or Wichita,
or just
Kansas
through
City?
the entire state of Texas. And no disrespect on you Texans, I'm just saying that's a long ass, boring ass drive.
Nothing, not a thing.
It's terrible.
You're just
Nothing
like
going on. Yeah.
It's not visual. It's not. You're just like, I've been seeing this for 7 hours.
Yeah.
You know, like, I mean, how many times have you guys finished an event and then you got to drive 3 hours and it's 2 a.m. because you have a 9 a.m. appointment, and you know if you take a spot and just sleep where you're at, you're not going to make it to that appointment because you got to, and you're just like, you're doing it because, hey man, it's a job, it's work. Yes, we love tobacco, and this is not a bitch fest on the industry. This is a defense of the perception of sales, is that anybody can do it. And like, that I remember running into one of the people I had worked for after Caldwell had started. And he had told me, like, the guy who had said, like, a monkey could do this job, and then when I left, he was like, you're not going to succeed. Nothing's going to succeed. And I remember seeing him, and it was our first trade show. And like, when you take a lot of digs, sometimes it's fun to like jab back. And he was like, do you regret it now? And I was like, I'm making money, motherfucker. What did you offer me? Like, I'm doing the same shit that I did before with the same attitude. Like, you could have rewarded me and I maybe potentially would have stayed. But now I'm doing something that like I get to be a part of. And it's like, I ain't looking back, and so the opportunity and what it has presented, like, if you're good at what you do, Jarrod's a perfect example of this. He was with a company for a very long time and had a very good rapport with his customers, his retailers, the relationships he cultivated. That ended not because of Jarrod, but because of coronavirus and everything else that has like situated. And I'm sure there's politics wrapped up in it, but Jarrod was immediately able to find something else, because like, we have a lot of people that work in this industry as reps, and there are very few reps that I sit and call my friends, like that. They're, and these two guys sitting here, even though AJ just left our industry, has in a heartbeat, he could find a job with another company if something was available. You know what I mean? Like, these guys have reputations in the industry, and they like, it's like you become a lifer because you're like, oh, you're one of the few guys that's not a piece of shit. And I'm not like trying to say all you guys suck that are out there. That's not what I'm saying. So don't get your panties in a knot. What I'm saying is it's hard to rise above, because it's such a taxing physically and just like mentally, this industry to run. It's like reading the same script every single day over and over. It runs people out. Mm-hmm. And like, those that can survive it and succeed in it end up rising up, like there, and like, this industry has new brokers or new reps every day. And I wish them all well, but the majority of them fall off within a year or less, or maybe 2 years max. They can't handle saying, well, I'm single, I don't have kids, it's easy for me to be. It's like, you don't understand how much you end up missing your bathroom. It's such a weird thing,
Jeremy. It always comes back to the shitting. It always comes back.
You know what, though? It really does, though, come back to the bathroom. Like, that's the thing I miss the most.
Right. The comfortability of like, I know where everything is. I know what that pubic hair on the ground is and why. You don't have to question and wonder where it came from.
Yeah.
Right. And like, we're going to keep doing these episodes, and we're going to keep lowering our standards on who we have on. And it's going to be amazing, because by like episode 7, people are going to be like, dude, you asked us to be on the show. And we're like, yeah, but you're the shit. Like, it's going to be
we get
amazing.
to round table 7. It'll be like that.
But we just won't show them this part. We'll cut this part out. So they don't know.
Well, let's do a shot. And then I have another question to ask the table.
Question 2. The question 1 took an hour already.
Yeah, that was great. That was great.
Is that Ophir, Jen?
What?
Are we doing the bumper?
Yeah, I'm gonna do. I thought somebody said something.
Shot number 5.
Down the hatch.
I don't have a shot. I don't have a shot glass tonight. Fuck. Okay. So like I said, I did car sales for a little while, and I still have nightmares. I will wake up every now and then, and I'm back on the lot. And I have not worked that job in now going on 13 years. I haven't worked that job, but I will still every now and then be back. I'll be back on that lot. It was so stressful for me at a time in my life. It's not a pube. It's an ear. Good God, that is rough.
That might be more gross than a pube.
Daryl, very, very nicely played.
So what I get, you guys have talked a lot about things that were bad about, things that were tough aspects of it. But one thing that in car sales was interesting is you're always having to compare your brands. People want to know, I sold Mazdas and Subaru. So people always want to be like, well, how does it compare to the Toyota? How does it compare to the Honda? And I hadn't driven those cars, so I would often have to fucking make it up on the spot. I just was out there. I was trying to sell a car. And I had to say something. I had to have some sort of answer. I couldn't look like I didn't know. So for you guys in the cigar industry, and I'll start with AJ here, how often did you really smoke the competitor stuff to bring that into the, it's harder to drive every car, but when you would go into shops or anything, did you often get into the other competitor stuff so that you would have that knowledge, or did you not really spend a lot of time getting into that?
100%. The beauty of the people that I have worked for is that nobody particularly, they were all boutique brands. And so, they were smaller. People didn't really know what they were. So I had to educate them based on what I've smoked. Been smoking since I was 19. So I had to have that knowledge. So I had to have that knowledge to be able to sell the cigar. My favorite moment in having this conversation was guy walks into the humidor. I'm doing a cut and light, right? So I'm in the humidor, working the humidor, and the guy goes, "All right, I'm just here with my buddy, waiting on my Cubans to come in. So give me the thing that was best gonna most taste like a Cuban." And I go, "Nothing." And he goes, "Excuse me?" And I said, "Nothing." He goes, "Well, what do you think I should do?" I said, "I think you should go home and wait on your Cubans." And he goes, "Do you work here? You work here?" And I go, "No, but I'm working for them." And he goes, "That's the most honest answer I've ever been given in my life. I'll take 5 of whatever you're selling."
Oh shit. Okay.
And the guy, and he literally was, the manager was like, he just comes in and when he's out of Cubans, because he buys them online, he comes and, we talk about some random cigar he's going to smoke. So yeah, I mean, you have to, but then people come in with weird shit like that and you're going, what? No, I mean, I like French Bordeaux. Okay, so give me your best California red. Get the hell out of here. It's not the same thing. It's just not, I usually drink Coors Light, but, I see you only got IPAs on the wall. So pour me something light, no, it's not going to happen. So that was probably the tougher part because, people always come at you with stupid stories from a consumer standpoint.
I mean, and I don't want to bitch about consumers because there are
no. But they're weird. But they're weird comments sometimes.
Yeah,
okay.
That's what I'm going to say. It's like they try to be experts sometimes and things they're not experts.
Yes,
and it's in every business. It's not just a cigar business. It's the car business or the phone business or whatever. And I don't understand the posture. Candle making business. Cardboard cutouts.
Got to get into that game, guys.
I just don't understand the posturing. If you don't know, it is intimidating to walk into a cigar store. It is. Because you walk in and there's a bunch of people that know and you may not know. So the first time you walk in, especially when you're trying to sell something or when you're even trying to buy something, there's automatically this thing that's instilled in you, I think, subconsciously to be the expert on it. Because you don't want the guy that's selling you the cigar to know more than you. Because you want to go in and be like, I know that Cubans are the best. So it's automatically ingrained into your head. But for me, with anything, I let it all go. And I'm like, no, tell me about it. What is it? I don't know. And I think if you can kind of take that edge off of yourself and kind of say, in whatever business it is or whatever you're trying to buy or consume, because even with wine, it's like I always default to the guy that's buying the wine or the chef or whatever. I'm like, what do you suggest? What do you think is going to be good? Because I enjoy the experience of trying what somebody else suggested. And I think that that's important in like the consumable industry, especially, cigars and wine and whiskey and stuff like that. It's a curated experience. And I think that we offer that. And that's different. That's the other difficult part about our jobs is offering that like sort of curated experience for somebody where you could say, okay, you're going to take this and you're going to drink it with a bourbon or have it with this, or
you're going to drink this with a bourbon. You get your Sprite and you got your bourbon.
Yeah.
One of the things I may add to this is that and I guarantee the group in here in this meeting, we don't reflect every salesman, good or bad. We're just us.
For sure.
Right? And we have different styles because there's not one style of selling. There's a million different styles. But what I can say, I think, for this room is I bet we have all had the same experience where we've done an event for your product that you represent. And you had a guy who came in who was new. And he's like, and you do the kind of basic, what do you like to smoke? You're trying to find out what his palate is into so you can offer something. And he says well, I like vanilla Koji Mars and I like the acid. Okay. And then I walk him into the humidor and I get him an acid and I get him a Koji Mars vanilla. And then I walk him out and I go to the Cuban, the same with AJ. Right. And I go to the counter and I put them on there. And then I have the retailer say, what are you doing? We're promoting your brand. And it's no, we're promoting our industry.
This is what this guy wants.
If this is what the guy wants, I don't have something for him. Who cares? We just want him to come back.
I want whoever to come back. I want whoever to consume my product when they consume it. I want it to be the right product for them.
Right.
And obviously, if you work for a larger company that has a lot more SKUs and a lot more variables, it makes it a lot easier for you to find something in that line. I haven't worked for a company that has flavored cigars. If someone comes in and they're asking for a vanilla flavored cigar, and I don't carry that in my portfolio, I'm not going to push them onto something just because I know I can. I mean, that guy's putting his trust in me, and I'm supposed to be the expert. I want him that when he picks up that cigar for the first time and tries it, it's the best cigar for him at that time. Because I've had bad experiences of cigars because it wasn't the right cigar for me at that time. And you carry that on for a long time.
Right.
And,
so
I used to work for LFD and they made some really strong cigars. If a guy comes in and I give him a double Ajero and he's not ready for that, for his entire smoking career, he's going to remember that really bad experience that he had on double Ajero. And I want him that when he's ready for it to come at it, smoke it and enjoy it then. I don't want to force it onto him, too early on. And there's nothing better than having a customer. It's one of the things that it makes all of the, the road time and stuff like that is when you're doing an event and a customer comes up and he tells you what he usually smokes. He's never heard of your brand before and you get him into it and he goes and he sits down and he comes up halfway through smoking one of the 3 cigars he bought for the promo and buys a box. Cause he's this was awesome. And it's just this huge gratifying, all right,
you delivered. And the beauty of it is so many of these guys that I've had that experience where I know we don't offer something in our specific portfolio and you offer something else. Most of the time, out of gratitude, they buy one of your cigars. And but the beauty of it is they didn't buy it based on you selling them on something. So if they don't enjoy it, it doesn't reflect on the brand. Because you've already said, this isn't probably your speed, but because you're well, you went out of your way, you helped me, you sold me something that doesn't benefit you at all. Let me try one of yours. It's on their accord. It's not a sales tactic. I mean, maybe it could be used as it, but it's just being a genuine person. It's just not.
Yeah.
and I've seen that okay, man, you want to try it. That's on you. I don't know if that's going to be in your wheelhouse, but
right.
it's on their own accord. It's like me going into a store and buying a whiskey based on the label because I don't know anything about it. If I don't like it, I'm not mad at the whiskey company. I picked it out.
Yeah.
Well, plus, if it's your, like kind of subjectively, if it's your decision, it generally tends to be better, right? So, if I sell you something like a hard sale, and I don't think any of us in this group is
somebody on the Starship Enterprise?
Somebody being beamed up.
I'm hearing the red alert.
Jared. I think it was someone here.
Okay. The aliens just landed.
Yeah, Brandon's aliens landed.
Oh no!
But none of us
cutout just shipped.
Yeah. Got an Amazon siren. But none of us here are I don't think are hard salesmen. And I think that that's a key to the cigar industry, right? Is like what we were talking about in that, we're not trying to force you to buy something that you don't need. 1,000 times a day, my phone rings about insurance or some bullshit where there's this really hard salesman and I never answer it. So people are hanging up on you if you're that salesperson 100 times a day. And yeah, we get kicked out of stores a lot, but at the end of the day, I think on a consumer level, I think that the important thing is that we're not trying to sell you something that you don't want. And I think that that's the key to our.
Oh fuck! I'm almost out of this.
Well,
go ahead, AJ.
And I wouldn't recommend people. When you say something like you should go home and wait for your Cubans, right? You got to be able to know what's coming next. Or you just have confidence in yourself to be able to say that.
Mm-hmm.
To work with that person, right? But so I definitely don't recommend that. But it's definitely about I think the curated portion of the experience, like you said, Tony. It's harder sometimes to lead people without them being led the whole way, right? Like you put the cigar, you put the food, you put the drink in front of them, and then they now it's like I didn't make a choice. So it's part of that curation is making it feel natural too, with what they end up liking, whatever they smoke and drink or what have you.
All right, let's do a shot.
Shot number 6.
Salute.
At the end of that ball for me. What the hell? I'm not sure who that is. I bet
that is not me.
It's
that's
AJ. He's in Portland. Of course, there's sirens.
Yes.
It does smell like something is on fire.
Is it a candle?
But the fire department is far away. Not a candle,
honey. It smells like
not
pussy in here. Why does it smell like pussy in here?
Is Gwyneth Paltrow down there?
Call the fire department. Gwyneth Paltrow's in here.
You don't say that. You don't say that to your lady. You say punani.
No.
Yes. Well, you guys, you guys are really laying a lot of awesome wisdom. I got to say, there's only one time in my life, in the years that I've known Tony, that I myself was a cigar salesman for one night. I don't know if Tony remembers this. Tony, you remember when we went to Beer Fest in Youngstown, the first year that they had the beer festival?
Yeah.
And they let Tony set up a couple tables outside of.
Let me. I had to pay.
I mean,
wasn't like
let you pay to be there.
Let me specify. We have laws in Ohio about that heavily restrict smoking. So when I said let, I mean like they gave us a space.
They did. They allowed cigar smoking.
Just they let smoke. That's not that you missed.
It was funny though. It was funny.
It was good, but I feel bad. Like I was looking like an asshole. But that's not the case. And we set up these tables, and Tony did not have staff. Tony did not have staff to run the whole.
What just happened?
Tony, you're gonna have to finish the story because it looks
I don't remember the story. I guess I didn't have staff,
okay.
And then I had Brandon sell cigars, and then
did you have a blackout?
No.
I think something's actually on fire, guys, because I can smell stuff. I need to get off the patio. I love everyone. I'll update you what's happening later.
All right, keep us updated.
Yeah, keep us updated.
Holy shit. No.
Well, Jeremy has successfully killed 4 people on the show. He killed Brian from Illusione in the plane, and now you killed AJ. Who else has he killed? Zach a couple times, I think.
Zach a couple times.
My own pride.
my will to live.
My will to live. I mean, yeah, keep going.
Well, this story I won't go on long, but the thing is that I remember about this night and how I know that I don't think I could have hacked it in your guys' industry at all is because Tony gathered up a bunch of like old Winwood cigars and like shit that like had been sitting in the humidor. He's like, we just need to sell something. We're just gonna take some shit out there and sell it. And I was like, what do you want me to do? You were like, smoke a cigar and just sell these to people who walk up. And I didn't have really any clue about what was in the different blends. I knew maybe one or two of them, a little bit and whatever. But I quickly realized these were drunk people who had lots of beer in them and were just looking for something to smoke while they were drinking. And I started lying out of my ass. I just said whatever came to 100%. Mind. And all of my car salesman tactics came right back to the surface. And I was telling people anything. I would just read the person and be like, is this person...
You like stouts? Best cigar ever with a stout.
Exactly.
Next guy. Oh, that's an IPA? Oh, my God.
I did it all night. We sold 6 boxes over the whole night. Like I'm not talking like a whole box, like just cigars, just like people buying 5 people and then handing them out and taking them in a bag. And we just sold all this crazy shit. And I had a serious high from doing it. But also I know I was like, I lied to every single person about almost every single detail.
It's not that you lied. It's just what you were selling changed. It wasn't necessarily selling the cigars. It was you were selling an experience at that point. And when you do those big kind of multi-vendor, non-traditional cigar events, whether it's wine festivals or music festivals or anything like that, it's not about what individual cigars you're selling. It's about selling that experience behind it. So if anything, you weren't lying. You were just very honest. You gave guys exactly what they wanted.
And Jarrod, isn't that the exact thing? Like, what we do in our industry is experience, right? We sell experience. Like we're 100%. Whether it's this cigar, the next one to follow, what we are selling you on that is truly authentic is the experience that we want you to have. And so that's why we're going to try to recommend a cigar that we think you'll like, because we want your experience to be that where you go, that was a great night. Next time I have that type of a night, I want to go back to that specific thing.
Exactly.
We all have emotional ties to things that we love and why we love them, right? Like the first beers that I got into were black and tans. I didn't like beers, but craft brew wasn't a thing yet. Like there wasn't microbreweries, and I had tried different beers and I had not been a fan. And then I went to a jazz club and it was a midnight cabaret set. And there was this beautiful woman. No, it was amazing. And he's like, do you want to get a beer? And I was like, oh, dude, I don't like beer. And he's like, let me get you a black and tan. A black and tan is Guinness and Bass. It's not like the most great tasting thing. But in that moment,
pretty good, though. It is
good. I had the most magical moment because there was this beautiful woman singing this sultry song, and she was like Jessica Rabbit floating around the room, sitting on your lap, singing in this luscious, raspy voice. And I was drinking this, and I was married to black and tans for like 3 years straight. Like I wouldn't drink anything but because it made me feel like I did that night. And that's what we're all looking for. Is that
who you saw, Jeremy? Is that who you saw that night? You said Jessica Rabbit. I mean, she's got the red dress. Maybe that's who you saw.
100%. Her name was April Sweeney. I remember her name. I saw her once, and she had such an impression on me. I fell in love with her like 4 times that night, and she never sat on my lap, but I thought about it. And, like it was the most magical experience because I felt like I was out of time in a different world and in a different era. And like I was married to an experience. That's what I chased, not the actual product.
Black and tan. Otherwise, I'd be getting a black and tan right now from the way you're describing.
Well, dude, I love a black and tan. I do still to this day, but it wasn't that the drink was so amazing. It's that the experience enhanced it so much that every time I drank it inadvertently took me to a place that I loved. Yeah. And that's what we like, like I went to Japan and I was hanging out with my best friend who lived there for many years, and we went on top of this like mall, and it was like 2 a.m. and they allow you to go into the malls when they're closed. They just close the stores. And we were overlooking Tokyo, and we smoked these Romeo short Churchills. And it's one of the best experiences I ever had with a cigar, because it was the most memorable experience. Is a Romeo, and anytime I smoke a Romeo short Churchill, it's not that I love the cigar, it's that I love what it reminds me of.
Yeah, exactly.
100%. Yeah.
Oh, last question. Hold on. Okay, go ahead. And I'll ask the last question.
Just real quick, have you ever heard my story about the entrance into the cigar industry? Have you guys heard this? I know Jarrod has. I don't know. And I'm not going to say any names, but so I'm 20 years old in Vegas with my dad at IPCPR. I think it was RTDA at the time. This was like 1999-ish, somewhere around there. And so this is a perfect example of curation. So at the trade show, it's hustle bustle all day, and then the dinners come out at night. And everybody's invited to these dinners. And we were invited to a dinner for a manufacturer that was kind of highbrow. So we go in, and the gentleman and if you're in the cigar business, you'll know. I just don't want to like say any names because I don't want to like run into that problem. But the gentleman was very famous for throwing these amazing dinners. And we go to Emerald's restaurant in the Venetian, and I walk in and they're introducing their new cigar. And they come out and there's Dom Perignon Rosé and Dom Perignon in champagne glasses and their new cigar. So the new cigar, you pick up whatever size you want, you grab it, and you smoke it. And then you go into the dinner portion. So first course is whatever, and then a cigar. And at this particular dinner, it was like a first growth Bordeaux. I mean, this was insane. So I'm sitting at this round table with icons of this cigar industry. And one of the icons' daughters was sitting next to me. And I'm smoking the cigar. And
was it a cardboard cutout of her?
Yes.
God, this joke is not going to die.
It's weird. She didn't talk at all the whole night.
She sat like this.
Yeah, she was very proper.
Good posture.
Anyway, long story short, I'm smoking the cigar. I'm having the dinner. She like kicks my foot and is like, "Do you want to get out of here?" So we go out into the Venetian causeway thing. We're standing on the bridge, and there's like a guy driving a boat underneath us, and he's like singing Italian love songs. And I'm smoking the cigar out there, and we make out, and I have this glass of wine. And I'm like, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. And you know what? That shit has never happened again.
This is the cigar
One
industry.
time.
That's the illusion that you got sold on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
The last time you made out, it was branded on New Year's Eve and for your New Year's Eve kiss.
No, that was
exactly.
Tim. No, that was Tim. That was Tim you were making out with, Tony. Remember, it wasn't me.
Oh.
I want to ask. This is a great last question. I'm really sad we lost AJ to a fire, but he'll never be forgotten. We'll remember him. I wish right now that I had the skill and the creative juices to have already put up like an AJ Costa and like in memoriam. I wish I had had.
Ask me about the story later. I'll tell you actually who it was.
Yeah. But I think that we're gonna have to have after season 2. I have to have an in memoriam for all the guests that we've killed. That Jeremy killed on the show. So here's the last question. We'll start, Jared. We're going to start with you, but I can't wait to hear Tony and Jeremy's answers on this. Without naming any names, what's one of the worst sales calls you've ever had? One maybe that you just you totally bombed with the person, or it just did not go well.
Oh man, there's 2 that come to mind, and one is there's 3. There's one that's like a real general thing where you drive hours to see one guy and he just doesn't show up, right? And you're like, great, this is awesome. So that is always top of my list. It's just when guys just don't show up. I had a guy. I just started with my last company, and I showed up to the store, and I'm fresh into cigars. I'm fresh into sales, and I walk into this account, And he immediately, I go, "Hi, I'm Jarrod. I'm from La Flor Dominicana Cigars." And he just looks me right in the eyes and goes, "Get the fuck out of my store."
Whoa, what? That's super aggressive.
And I'm like, excuse me? And he goes, "I told that company they're never allowed in my goddamn store." And I'm like, "Oh, what?" And so I leave. No clue. It's on my account list. I got to go see this guy. And it turns out that the previous rep and national sales manager had an issue with this account. And he had informed them that he never wanted to see anyone from his store ever, or from our company ever did.
Oh, my God.
But that information was not passed on to me, unfortunately. No. And I'm like week 3 on the job. I'm like real nervous about like, am I doing a good job? And I walk out, and that's how it started for him. Yeah.
That's brutal. That's brutal.
But probably my favorite one that I did for me was I pulled into this account, and Jeremy and Tony have both had these days where you're not feeling it. It's just, it's not your day. And specifically with that account, you're going to have to deal with some issues. We were dealing with a bunch of back orders, and I pull into this guy's store, and he's got these big windows right as you pull up. And I sit in my car, and I'm looking, I see him working the register, and I'm like, not today. And just throw it in reverse and back up. And I sat there for like 25 minutes. I literally was out there for almost a half hour.
Oh my God.
And I drive away. 15 minutes later, I get a phone call from this guy. And he goes, "Jarrod, were you just in front of my store?" And I'm like, shit. I'm like, "Yeah, man." I'm like, "Yeah, something came up, man. Unfortunately." He goes, "Oh, I'll see you later then." I'm like, "No, I got another meeting I got to get to. Sorry, I'll see you next time I'm around." But that was...
Oh, that's brutal.
I just didn't have it in me that day for that guy.
He saw you too, man. You thought you got away, but he saw you.
Yeah, and I literally sat there. Of course, he saw me. His register is right in front of these massive 12-foot windows, and I sat there for 20 minutes.
He's probably like, what's Jarrod doing out there?
Yeah, he's like, "Is he gonna come in?" Like,
he's masturbating in anger.
Oh, 100%.
I don't want to come in there and see you. I don't want to come in there. Okay, I finished. I'm going to leave now.
What's that cardboard cutout next to him?
I got this fucking joke.
Why does he keep sniffing this candle? Is that an air freshener for his car?
Oh my God.
I need it.
Oh God.
Jeremy, what about you? What's like the worst sales call you have? Like one of them?
Yeah. So I'll give you one that just pops up. There's probably, we could go down this road and it would be hours. And if we were sitting together, we would do this for hours. But I'll just give one in particular, right?
This is how the inception of the show.
Right. Yeah. So I went into a store, and I was a new rep. I went in, and the company I worked for required not a full suit, but at least a button-up shirt and a tie. So I go in to see this guy, and he's in a fully pressed, like 3-piece, beautiful suit. And he proceeds to, okay, I have to give backstory to it. I went into his store the first time because I didn't know, and I was in the area, and he was sitting in the store, and his clerk came up and said, "He's not here," even though I can see him right there. And I was like, okay. So next time I make an appointment, this is where I come in, and I sit down with him, and he proceeds to tell me that he finds it disrespectful to not have a full suit. When he wears a full suit, you should match what he does. So, okay, now we're going to third visit. I show up in a full suit because, hey, this is what the guy wants. This is what the guy gets.
All right.
I sit with him, and he proceeds to then lecture me for this 45 minutes about how I did it wrong as a new rep, and that I was supposed to come in his store and purchase a cigar from him to support his business before I present my own cigar. Okay.
So this is the third trip. That's already the third time.
Now we're at fourth visit.
Oh my God.
I walk in. By the way, his cigars are crazy inflated in price, but I'm playing the game. I'm new. I'm trying to do the best I can. I do everything by the book. Come in, do the whole thing, and then he sits there and goes, "Well, you sold it to guys around me. How come you didn't sell it to me first when I'm the biggest store in the area?"
Oh my God.
And I'm like, motherfucker, because you've been pushing me off for 6 months because I'm not doing it right. And so he refused to purchase. He lectured me about how I didn't come to him first, even though I had already been to him 4 times. And then I walk outside and I had a $250 parking ticket because I was 4 minutes over. Worst visit. And you know what? I went, fuck you, never coming back to your store. And I've never been back to his store. Because
and that guy's name was Tony Bellato.
And that guy's name.
I no longer carry Caldwell cigars.
It wasn't Tony. His name was Gino Bellato.
Gino.
100%. 100% he would do that.
No, but you know what? Like
Yeah.
I can understand being new and learning how it works and trying to adapt in different situations, but going through all that, wasting my time just to tell me how come you didn't come to me first. And it's like, I've been here 4 times. But he was like, this is the only time you've been here proper.
Oh my God, fuck that.
Like, so I wrote him off, called the company, said X him off the list. I'm never going back into there. And everything I've done cigar wise since, I've never ventured over to that guy's store. Fuck him in the ass. I will never go into that dude's store again.
Oh my God. Tony, so let's end with you on really bad sales call memory. Maybe it's one for you. You can flip the script and it's somebody that came into your store to sell to you and it went bad. This is fun. This is real fun.
There was this rep from LFD that came into my store. And he came in. He tried to sell me on cigars while he had a cardboard cutout and a candle. And he was like, you want to have a good time?
Yeah.
Hey, let's just be honest. If I did that at a Havana House location, number 1 account, hands down. It would be, yeah, I would sell way more cigars.
100%.
I think, okay, so when I think about the business in general, like I don't have like a worst story ever. I do, but I don't want to say it, I guess. But more or less, like my worst experience ever was a pay-to-play experience where I had a salesperson that was also a sales guy, and the sales.
Wait, can you explain what you just said to me? Because they nodded. Jeremy nodded when you said that, but I did not understand.
So I had someone that was selling me. It was a broker that was selling me cigars.
Uh-huh.
It was also selling my cigars to other stores.
Oh, okay. See, I didn't understand. You were talking in code there. He was a sales guy, but he was also a salesperson. All right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And I can't believe I'm telling this story, but whatever the fuck, I don't care. So it was
11 people listening.
Yeah. I mean, but I'm not going to mention any brands or any people, but it was like it was a quid pro quo, which is very famous in our last president's organization. It was a very quid pro quo kind of thing. Like if you buy this amount of this other brand, I will sell this amount of your cigar. And I was like, I don't know if it works that way. Because I really like separate church and state. So I don't want to be like buying
Dude, that's
shit that I can't sell, right? But that was the Ike's on here. Oh,
Ike's, he must have, his ears were burning.
Every fucking buddy knows who I'm talking about now. But anyway,
you just guess what? Your house is going to get burned down tomorrow, and you know it's true.
Let's do a shot about it. But that was the worst.
To Tony's house.
To Tony's house.
I just moved in. Jarrod's on the floor. We had a good time here.
AJ, please send those fire trucks over to Tony's house because it's going to burn down in fire tonight because he just went to no man's land. If you know, you know.
Oh, my God.
Power to the people.
Shot number 7.
I love that. That's
so glad Will Marks made it in there.
Cheers, my friends.
I just listen. I love that we have done now 2 seasons of the show. We're on our 9th episode of the 2nd season. We've done a total of almost 40 individual episodes. I've never seen Ike pop up, and Tony is telling a story that he's trying to keep secret, like trying to beat around the bush, and suddenly Ike just pops into the chat. Somebody who would know.
If you know, you know. We don't have to say names. That's the beauty of this industry. That is the beauty of reputations.
That story is the beauty of, like you said, of the industry, because you're right. Everybody who knows that guy, it's not an uncommon thing, and it makes total sense and knows exactly what the story starts, goes, and ends with. So it's
I mean, at the end of the day, like this industry, and I don't, none of us are trying to blow the fucking roof off of it, right? But
I love it, Daryl.
Oh my God,
I love it.
But the cigar industry, I always say it, and even though my mom on New Year's was expressing how Irish I was versus Italian,
I wasn't going to say that on the show.
But both aspects have a criminal element to it, and I think that the cigar business is very much like that, and kind of maybe to end discussion.
Fuck, Ike, I'm sorry,
Ike. You must really not be important when we only have 10 guys and Brandon's never posted your thing. And I apologize.
I think we need to have Ike on the show.
I think this is an invitation.
He's got a ton of time. They don't travel anymore.
Yeah.
Ike,
will you join us on the show next week so we can have a guest?
Yeah, because we're running a little thin.
It's either you or we have to go with a Brandon's pick. And I'm going to tell you right now, I don't think people will be happy with Brandon's pick for a guest.
Allison, Tony Pilato needs more than an attorney. Yes, I do. Yes. But anyway, so at the end of the day, like you enter into this business, right? And you can't just come into it. You have to like kiss the rings of the forefathers before you.
Yes.
It's such a like kind of mafia thing that goes on. Like you can't just but you're just as guilty.
Oh my God!
Go ahead.
I didn't say that I haven't.
We can keep going.
Hey Brandon, let's order it, and next week let's have Anna as our guest.
We'll have Anna Darmus on
it. We'll tag her in it, and we'll just have conversations the whole night, and we'll have Jarrod be her voice behind it.
I would love. Listen, I would love nothing more than to get an email in our 4 Shots. I'll put it up here in our 4 Shots Gmail. I would love nothing more than for Anna de Armas's personal PR person to be like, we're gonna have to ask that you cease and desist tagging Anna de Armas in your TV show or your.
You guys know cease and desist are my favorite. We have them framed.
I think from now on we should just work her into every single episode and tag, kind of like how Jimmy Kimmel does the Thank You, Matt Damon. We didn't have time for it. And just see how long it takes before you do get the like episode 209 is no longer available.
I mean, honestly, we could probably get Ben Affleck on the show next week where he's at in life. And,
not after our discussion with him.
We could be like, bro, it's okay. You can smoke on our show and look like a loser. Join the club.
Oh my God!
So like,
stand outside your flat.
Hey, think about that. We got Up Top Chicken Box guy. We got the Wawa video guy, and then we get Ben Affleck. I mean, that's quite a jump, man.
No,
that's
it's not.
Sweet.
He was Batman.
I think you're going downhill.
Like the Up Top Chicken Box is more relevant than our buddy wearing sweats standing out front of his like smoking a cigarette asking why he's still living. So like I think we could probably get him.
I think that this is true. I think the roundtable episode number 2 is we have to get some female reps on the roundtable to give.
We had a good one with TLE.
Right.
We did have a kind of a roundtable with
right.
That.
And I will say, Allison, this is going to be a series that shows up periodically.
Yeah.
And we will absolutely, because I did talk to some friends as well as what, like, hey, would you want to do this? Because we hit up a couple people, and we most definitely will have the round table with female reps in this industry because you're right. It'll be interesting in a whole different way.
Oh yeah.
They're all going to talk about how they fawn over me.
Yeah. Tony, you gotta have Gummy on.
I mean, the three of us are the sex symbols of the cigar industry, obviously.
Tony's the sex symbol for succeeded in life. Jarrod is the stud, and Jeremy's the work.
It'll do.
I'm the moment guy when you're at the bar and you didn't get picked up, right? And you're just like, dude, I just want to get laid. And then you look over and I'm like, and then you're like, you'll work, and I'm like,
we're gonna bring this episode to close. We're at an hour 45. We are.
Fuck it, that'll work.
Yeah. Aaron, do you have anything else before we close it out?
I think we hit it.
I think we did. This was one of my favorite episodes. I can't wait to roundtable number 2, which we'll probably do in season 3. We'll pick up another roundtable episode. A lot of fun. Jesus, Tim, was last week not enough?
How did you get home, Tim, when you left her outside for a half an hour? While you just continued to talk, but let's do one more shot, and then
Tim fell asleep with a loaf of bread in his mouth. He said, it was pretty rough. Here we go.
Hey, why don't we do the shot and then tell them where we can find everybody, and then we'll say good night.
We'll say good night. Here we go.
Shot number 8.
I'm really glad that we got to shot number 8. He passed out with bread on me. That's a great story. Because that last bumper has a mannequin in it, which the mannequin is
Helen.
it's like
Helen.
the 3. Yeah, that's the 3D cardboard cutout. It's like a little upgrade.
It was Helen. I actually knew a kid that worked at a mannequin factory.
Yeah.
No, I'm serious.
I'm not surprised you got a mannequin. I mean, I'm not surprised you got a mannequin.
And that's the thing about the cigar business is like you always have a guy for everything. Like I knew somebody that was getting married, and I was like, "Do you want John Woo doves? Because I got a dove guy."
Got a dove guy.
So if you want John Woo doves at your wedding, I can make it happen.
Why didn't you offer me? You didn't offer me Dove Guy. You didn't talk to me about Dove Guy.
You can't afford.
You couldn't afford Dove Guy. You're right, Tony. We should do an episode.
I can get you a discount. We should do a discount.
Discount Dove Guy, Pigeon Guy. You got Pigeon Guy.
Tony, you and I, we should do an episode where it's called The Guy, and we just talk about the hookups that we have in the bizarre realms in this industry, and we'll promote them. We'll put their things up, but we'll talk about the most obscure, because between you and I guarantee you, not only do we have an hour to fulfill stuff, but we have the most random, you needed a prosthetic leg. I got you, boo.
I do have a guy for that.
You need doves.
We're going to
my grandpa calls the prosthetic guy Tony Alphabet because he has too many vowels in his name for you to pronounce.
So that's awesome. And
his name is Tony Di Benedetto, but my grandpa calls him Tony Alphabet because he's got too many letters in his name.
Listen, what's really crazy? What's really crazy,
love you, Tyler?
We have more viewers now than we ever have.
We do. We're at the peak viewership.
And we're trying to end the show.
We do have a leather.
Why don't you fuckers come on at 8:00?
We start at 8, everybody, and everyone's coming in, and it's almost 10 o'clock. But
they had dinner on the West Coast, and now they're ready to party.
Listen, the ultimate that guy story is if you could get Caldwell to come on, and he could just tell us about all those trades he did over years. He went from having he had a handbag, and then he turned it into a motorcycle, and then he turned that into a piece of property.
I want to have a segment, and I was going to call him today about it. I want to have a segment that's just like random Caldwell stories, about how he ended up with Hezbollah somehow, about how he got kicked out of countries, about how all this stuff that I don't even want to say because I don't know if he wants me to say it or not. But I want to have random Caldwell interjections into the show.
Yeah,
just a 5-second this one time I was in Istanbul and I ended up with a party in Hezbollah, and we were watching rockets shoot across the border. And then I got my global entry revoked.
Right.
And that's it.
Oh.
And just end the story there. No background, no finishing up it. Just right there. Yeah.
That's
so if you guys want to hear, comment in the section, because that's what YouTubers do. We're telling you, like, hey, hit the subscribe button, share it. But no, I think it would be really fun to do a That Guy episode where we talk about all the bizarre connections we have acquired, because, like, I'm not joking about a prosthetic leg, and you're not joking about the Dove Guide. That's real. And I think that, like, that would be a hilarious thing, is to feature all the bizarre relationships that have been cultivated from being in this industry. And I have story upon story, as I'm sure you do. So, like, we should do that as an episode, because I think that would be entertaining.
We've got a lot of new episodes planned here in the last 10 minutes. It's like we've got Roundtable number 2, ladies edition. And then we've got Brandon's Choice, which is a secret right now. Then we're gonna have Ike Criperties. And listen, Ike, that's announced. We're just confirming it now live.
You're on.
You are coming on. That's what we're doing. And then we're gonna have That Guy episode. So I mean, we've already got quite a few cool episodes that we've just invented coming up. But let's close out. Jarrod, is there any? Would you like to share your social links as the people could find you and follow your adventures?
I'm on Instagram. Is pretty much the only thing I really do much of.
My God, Will Marxist! I swear to God, I'm going to ban you. I swear to God, I am going to do it. I'm going to ban you from the chat because you just push my buttons so fucking hard. Oh my God!
Hey, Brandon, why don't you take your shirt off for him, because it seemed to have gotten him last week.
Yeah, he ran away when the white boys had their shirts off. He went running from that, and I don't blame him. So anyway, I'm sorry, Jarrod. I interrupted you because we have an unruly person in the chat who just likes to piss me off, because it doesn't get to Tony and Jeremy, but it gets to me.
You know what? Will is my favorite dude, because he knows just how to tickle your fancy.
God damn.
Like, and I enjoy watching it so much. I do. I like that you're getting like,
we need like remember celebrity.
I'm taking my shirt off. I'm gonna show him I have a belly, and I'm not wearing a shirt.
We need a celebrity death match. Brandon, Will, Marxist is what we need.
God.
I got 100 on Will.
All right.
I have 100.
So, Sharma, we're saying good night. Thank you for watching, everybody. Thank you. We will be back here. I can promise. Jarrod, I'll interrupt him. Yeah, your socials.
McAuliffe _ Jarrod. That's an A, 2 R's and an O and a D.
Gotta have that D.
Have that D.
That's what she said.
Tim Ferriss next time going full nude. Yeah, you've heard it here. He's gonna just go completely nude on the next show. Listen, I don't want to have a celebrity death match with Will Marxist, because I know that on a Zoom he pulled a gun or something. That's a rumor I heard, and that would just be bad news for somebody like me.
I just like that Will's like, I'm in, bitch. He didn't say bitch, but I know it's insinuated in the exclamation point.
Listen, I got no real beef. I got nothing but love for Will, but he just loves to push my buttons on the thing.
That, you know what? If you didn't have, like, what story isn't good if you have a victor and you have a nemesis, right? Like, you have to have the dichotomy of the two to make it interesting. And Will has become not only our friend, but the guy to make Brandon red in the face, like me.
Yep.
And I get red in the face because I have no pigment.
Same as we do need a guest for next week.
Right? I love it. Okay, Tony, where do we find you? Well, we didn't finish.
So, we do need to finish. So, Apple Auto, BELLATTO. That's awesome. I knew he was. But don't forget to subscribe. Please share. Like, we're trying to do something a little bit different. We're trying to do something a little bit edgy, as you've gathered from the show. The shows that we've heard of
off. It's hot.
But don't forget, like, our favorite people, and Jarrod from McAuliffe was here tonight. If you didn't know.
AJ Costa.
Previously from the cigar business, but now from some new software company that he never said anything about, which I would buy the software if I knew what it was.
That he's going to make real money in.
Yeah, that is correct.
He died before he could tell us about what he does. He died. We
He'll
saw
get a
it.
paycheck.
Yeah.
Yeah. But guys, please our stuff. Follow our stuff at 4-Shot Show. Just do it. We're gonna have some cool shit coming out.
Whether Will Marker says it or not, Jeremy.
All right. You can find me at the California Hillbilly on Instagram because that's where I'm at. Saturday mornings, if you want to smoke a cigar and drink coffee together, we meet together at 9 a.m. I'm sorry, noon Eastern Standard Time. That's how we go far. It's 9 a.m. my time, but you can go on to my Maisha, you should have been here.
Everybody's here at 10 o'clock.
Right.
Everybody's here.
Maybe we should recalibrate the show. But
start at 10?
I don't know. But anyhow, you want to join for a cigar and smoke, you can go onto my Instagram, see the Zoom link. It's not a link. You have to actually write it down and then go on to Zoom and do it. But yeah, man, we hang out and smoke, and our Romanian brother Razvan often shows up, and now we're buds from this show. So hey,
hopefully
you want to hang out?
Our Lithuanian brother shows up.
Yeah, maybe the
hell
Lithuanian.
yeah, Lithuania, show up and represent Saturday morning. Go to the California Hillbilly and on Instagram, find the Zoom link, not link, and and join us because it's fun. All right, I'm out.
All right. Guys, thank you so much, everybody in the chat, for having a great time tonight. It was really great hanging out with everybody. We do the show here every Tuesday night at 8 o'clock. For some ungodly reason, we might be moving the time. No, we probably won't. But the last thing I can say is we don't have a lot of reviews. So if you guys are listening to podcasts at all, even if you listen to us live, we need some reviews out there on the audio stream. So go to iTunes.
Give us a half a star. I want 0.5 out of 5.
So leave us some reviews. I would love if we had a really bad, but just leave us a lot of reviews. Will Marks
leave us a 0.5 and say my favorite show, hate you motherfuckers. That's what I want everyone to say.
I
and then
expect
we're going to
Will
be
Marks
known.
to leave this review.
The mega fools are going to fuck some shit up tomorrow.
I think
that's political.
Yeah, well, there it is.
Okay,
so
there we go.
We're not going to listen. I'm trying to get us out before we reach 2 hours because we've never hit that mark, and I'm trying to get us out. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you back here next